Welcome back, everyone, to Inside the Vandals. Idaho men's coach Don Verlin still with me. And, Coach, Saturday is a big night for you guys here inside the Cowan Spectrum. It's not big because you're fighting for position or trying to secure something. It's big because it's senior night. Yeah. And there's a lot of guys on this team that have really contributed a lot, whether it's a 2-year and just the impacts that they've made. Talk about some of the guys here who are spending their last night inside the Cowan Spectrum.
It is a big game, especially for our 4 seniors, and they've all came to the University of Idaho and busted their tail and done everything they can to be the best student athlete they possibly can. You know, and I'll start with Mansa Habib, as we mentioned earlier in the show. Mansa's a hard-playing young man from Buffalo, New York, by way of Southeastern Community College. Is going to receive his degree this spring. Is playing probably his best basketball as of late. He's our defensive stopper, and I couldn't be happier for Mansa Habib and how he has improved as a basketball player, but also improved as a student. You know, he didn't have a great GPA coming in to the University of Idaho, but he has done everything he needed to, and he'll receive his diploma in the spring. Mike McChristian, who we talked about earlier, Mike's just improved by the game. No question about it. Since he's been here, he's gotten better and better and better. Mike's a JAM major, as you guys know. He's done very good academically, will graduate this spring, and is just a fabulous young man. If you haven't got a chance to meet Mike, you should, because he's a great kid and a quality individual. Wendell Faines, who's been here 2 years, you know, Wendell's had an up and down 2 years, but Wendell's always came to practice and worked extremely hard. He's taken 1 class this semester to graduate, so he's done a great job in the classroom, worked extremely hard to be the best basketball player he could possibly be. Kyle Barone, I mean, you know, the name says it all right there. He's had is probably a gooder career as any big man in Idaho history. Kyle's already graduated from college. He graduated a semester. He's had numerous double-doubles this year, and Kyle's really matured as a person and as an individual, and he's really taken that to the court this year and showed what a quality individual and a quality basketball player he is.
It really shows, Don, that it's just more than what happens on the hard court. All these kids, spectacular student athletes. We wish them all the best as they move on, but we do still have 1 conference game to play, and it is against Seattle U. This is a team right now that has struggled in conference play. You guys got a big win over them to actually start off the conference here, all the way back at the end of December in Key Arena. It's a Cameron Dollar coach team that always comes out feisty, always comes out hungry.
Well, they'll be ready to play, and they played great at University of Texas San Antonio on Saturday, getting an 18-point win down there on Saturday afternoon. So Cameron always has them ready to play. They look at it as a rivalry game. It's a game that, you know, they'll be in the same conference as us next year. Like you said, Cameron will have those guys ready to play. It's a big game as far as we need to keep our momentum going into the conference tournament. If we can find a way to beat Seattle U, we've won 3 out of our last 4. We're starting to play a little better, and that's what you got to do going into the conference. You got to get hot, and that's what this team has to do. We have to get hot, and we got to play our best basketball, not only this week, but next week also.
You talk about it being a semi-rivalry game. It's going to be one of the only few names that we'll actually recognize next year in the Western Athletic Conference. Last time out, Kyle Barone, a 25-point, 11-rebound double-double. Talk about where he can excel in this game, maybe where some of the other guys can have good opportunities scoring.
Well, Seattle U is going to throw a number of different looks at us defensively. They're going to man us, they're going to zone us, they're going to trap us, they're going to do a number of different things. Our guys did a great job getting the ball to Kyle down low inside, and we got to do that again. We got to set up our shot close to the basket and play inside-out basketball. What we also got to do is get our transition game going, and that allow some of our other guys to get some open looks. But that's the key to that basketball game, is we got to take advantage of Seattle U in transition, and then we got to do a very nice job of getting the ball inside down low to Kyle Barone, so we're hard to guard that night.
And how much easier is it for you guys as a coach and as a team to be able to prep for someone like Seattle University over an entire week instead of just 2 or 3 days?
You know, it's always easier when there's 1 game, but also there's 4 practices, and sometimes those practices get long. We're not going to practice today, being Monday. We're going to shorten our practices this week, because what we got to do is we got to be ready for the next week with 3 games in 3 days, hopefully. So what we're going to do is cut back our practices, get right to the point on the things that we need to do to prepare for Seattle U, and hopefully get our bodies and ourselves feeling as good as we possibly can going to the WAC Tournament next Thursday.
So now let's talk about that WAC Tournament. You guys, your start is a little bit later here due to how the men work thing. The tournament starts on Tuesday. That's the play-in game, and then it's an off day Wednesday. So as you said, you guys won't even play until Thursday down there at the Orleans Arena. The seeding and who you guys are yet to play is to be determined. It looks like the most likely outcome will be New Mexico State, a team that you guys have done well against. Then the other possibility is a Denver team who you guys have struggled with at times. But at the end of the day, I think you said you have to win 3 games, and every team in that tournament has to win 3 games. Talk about how level the playing field immediately becomes.
Well, it's obviously the parity is better than it's ever been in the Western Athletic Conference this year. And like you said, we probably, on paper, we'll probably play New Mexico State, but who knows? We could play Arlington, we could play Denver. Really don't care. You know, you got to get down there, you got to beat them all anyway if you're going to get the job done that you want to get done. So what we're going to do is focus in on getting better this week, getting our basketball team fired up, ready to play. You know, I have a saying this time of year: feed them, rest them, run them. You know, that like the old horse racing guys do. You know, is get them feeling as good as they possibly can against you, and not overcomplicate it. And let's go make sure we're playing our best basketball next week.
And Coach, what do you say to guys like Denzel Douglas and guys like Robert Harris who are new into the system and haven't played in a D1 end of the year tournament like this? What do you say to them to get them prepped?
Well, you know, you really don't say a lot because they've played basketball their whole career along, and we've prepped all year long. What you got to do is just tell them to enjoy it. You know, conference tournaments are always a little different than the regular season games, and you just got to go embrace it, enjoy it, not worry about anything, throw caution to the wind, and go play the best you can.
Throw that caution to the wind, get to the NCAA tournament, no one will be complaining, will they?
Exactly. It'd be a great finish to a year that's, you know, we've had some adversity and been up and down, had a lot of ifs, buts, could have, should haves, whatever, but it'd be a great way to finish the season if we can find a way to win 3 here in March.
Well, it sounds like fun. We can all go dancing down there in the NCAA tournament. Coach, thank you so much for joining us. We'll talk to you again next week. When we come back, Idaho women's coach John Newley joins us right here on Inside the Vandals.